So what if I told you the reason math feels like such a slow, painful grind has absolutely nothing to do with you and everything to do with how you're learning it? Today, we're going to build a whole new blueprint, one that's designed to help you learn math so fast, it almost feels like a cheat code.
You know the feeling, right? You're staring at a textbook, feeling like you're just climbing this endless mountain of problems. It's super frustrating, and it feels like you're putting in a ton of effort for barely any progress. But here's the thing. What if that struggle isn't actually your fault?
I mean, our source material literally puts it this way. You can learn math so fast it feels illegal. And that's the core idea here, that just a small shift in your strategy can feel like a complete game changer. So the question is, how do we do it? How do we unlock this?
Well, the problem really starts with the traditional method. You know, the way we're all taught in school. We start from the bottom up, beginning with basic theory and then slowly building towards the complex problems. Now that seems logical on the surface, but it's actually incredibly inefficient.
And let's get one thing crystal clear. This has nothing to do with whether or not you're a math person. The issue isn't your brain's hardware, it's the software, the learning strategy you're running. All we need to do is install a better system.
And that new system, it's all built on a really powerful idea, the 80-20 rule. You might have heard of it as the Pareto principle. It basically says that in almost anything, 80% of your results are going to come from just 20% of your efforts. The secret then is finding that critical 20% in math.
And here's what that looks like when it comes to a math exam. As you can see, only a tiny fraction of all the material, that's your vital 20% of key concepts, is responsible for the vast majority of the problems you're actually going to face. Everything else, it's kind of just background noise. Our entire goal is to pinpoint and totally master that core 20%.
This chart really shows the incredible power of that focus. Just look at it. That tiny little input, mastering just 20% of the concepts, unlocks that massive output of 80% of the exam results. I mean, this is the very definition of working smarter, not harder.
Okay, so how do we actually find that critical 20%? Well, we use a clever strategy called the reverse pyramid. Instead of starting with the basics and working our way up, we're going to flip the whole thing on its head. We're going to start at the finish line and work backwards.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. The traditional path on the left is slow, it's uncertain. You just hope you eventually get to the important stuff. But the reverse pyramid on the right, it's direct. It guarantees you're focusing on what actually matters because you start with the end goal, the exam, and you work your way back from there. And here's how you build it. First, you get your hands on as many past exams or sample problem sets as you can. Then you analyze them. You're looking for which types of questions and which formulas pop up over and over again. Those are your high-frequency patterns. That's your 20%. You master those first, and you pour the bulk of your practice time into them.
Now, identifying the what to study is a huge step, but it's really only half the battle. Now we need to change how we study. See, simple memorization is fragile. We need to learn the underlying pattern logic, understanding the type of problem, not just a single example in front of us. This is what's going to let you solve questions you've never even seen before.
And the best way to build that pattern logic is with a technique from cognitive science called active recall. This is basically the opposite of just passively rereading your notes. It's the mental workout of forcing your brain to pull information out of storage, and that's what creates much stronger, more flexible connections in your brain.
So, what does this look like in the real world? It's about making your brain work for the answer. Force yourself to solve a problem completely from start to finish before you even think about checking the solution. Try explaining your concept out loud, like you're teaching it to a friend. Or try this. From a blank page, can you write out all the key formulas? This is the kind of active effort that builds real, lasting mastery.
All right, let's pull all of this together. We can actually distill this entire strategy into a super simple 3-step blueprint for conquering pretty much any math challenge you face. Here it is. It's this simple. Step 1, reverse. Use that reverse pyramid technique to find the vital 20% of concepts. Step 2, focus. Apply the 80-20 rule and dedicate your energy there. And step 3, recall. Use active recall to build that deep, pattern-based understanding. Reverse, focus, recall. That's the blueprint.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't just about passing a test. It's about changing your entire relationship with problem solving. You now have a system for learning that's efficient, it's powerful, and you can apply it just about anywhere. So the only question left is, now that you have the blueprint, what will you solve?